I'm the co-founder and CEO of Factmata, and we are building scalable AI to combat online misinformation and disinformation. So misinformation and disinformation is eroding trust in society, creating marginalization, reducing human progress, arguably, and actually costing lives in some cases. And it is also a massive commercial problem as well. So if you look at the statistics around misinformation, 64% of Americans are confused about basic facts after reading fake news online. Then if you look at the commercial costs of fake news, which is a relatively new market in the last few years, there are estimates that the losses of fake news, whether it comes to stock market losses around, let's say, a rumor that is being spread about a company, reputational damage for a brand, platforms costs in actually doing content moderation, and also the costs of brand image from cancel culture about a brand, actually effectively is about $78 billion. And then moreover, there's 70% of Americans actually feel that fake news has greatly affected their confidence in government institutions. So we essentially don't know who to trust and what to trust now online. So what we do is we help platforms, government agencies, public health institutions, progressive causes, humanitarian efforts actually get the truth out there and provide tools as well for everyday internet users to know what to trust. So our product consists of three main pillars. So one of them is a solution that is targeted towards programmatic advertising and content moderation. So this is an API that's able to detect about 12 different signals of harmful content, including propaganda, sexism, racism, hate speech, toxic language, obscene language, controversial statements, and so on. And we provide this via an API to, for example, help brands not advertise on fake news or propaganda content. We also provide consumer tools. For example, we have a browser extension that helps consumers understand, in this case, for example, like how objective a piece of content is, so that they can make decisions when they're navigating online. And finally, we have a SaaS platform that's targeted towards government agencies and PR agencies to track rumors that are spreading in any topic online. That could be COVID-19, like a social issue, but we also do track actual brand issues. For example, when there's rumors about a brand like Coca-Cola or rumors about climate change. So a few case studies. So we've actually helped UNICEF, Save the Children, the WHO to actually track rumors around COVID-19. So we call them narratives. So we tracked, for example, narratives around the Ayurvedic cure coronil being one of the first suggestions for it being a miracle treatment. We actually analyzed that narratives around school reopenings was larger than that around the vaccine in that period. We also found the first narratives around this idea of super spreaders in August. So the second case study is we've actually worked with one of the largest billion-dollar publisher networks called Taboola to actually remove propaganda anti-Semitic websites from their network. So we used our API, scanned these websites that were actually trying to advertise on Taboola, and it helped their moderators to remove these type of websites. Finally, we have consumer tools that actually help our AI get better. So we have, for example, our browser extension where essentially people know what's objective or what's not. Users then give feedback if they thought that our AI got it right or not. And then that feeds into our overall engine that's then sold to the businesses. So there's a human in the loop process around our platform. Like I said, targeting three main areas: communications and PR, content moderation, and programmatic advertising. And these are some of the biggest markets, like, for example, programmatic advertising, about 147 billion in just global TAM. We price differently for our API and our SaaS platform. For our SaaS platform, it's a monthly fee, starts at 1,200 a month per topic that you want to track. And our API is priced per content item that we are analyzing. I will skip through this. So our team consists of NLP scientists, natural language processing. My co-CEO also spent time at the cabinet office, home office, and actually was in Afghanistan, Kuwait, and Iraq, actually combating narratives that the Taliban was spreading on the UK government around fake news. And finally, our investors consist of the founder of Twitter, Mark Cuban, Craig Newmark, the founder of Craigslist, and more.
Hi, Drew. Sorry to interrupt you. The time is up. Thank you so much for your presentation. And let's start the Q&A. I can see that Linda has her hand up. So go on, Linda.
Great, thank you. Hi, Drew. Fantastic presentation. And I think we need initiatives like this more now than ever. And one of the red flags that came to mind when you presented was the risk of kind of misclassification and false positives. How do you ensure credibility of your sources and minimize that risk?
Of false positives? Yeah, so we've now did some tests this year where we actually we tested, for example, with Brandwatch and 2Hat, which is one of the leading content moderation providers, and we're actually beating some of the largest benchmarks in terms of precision recall, F1, and so on. In terms of false positives, we always, for example, when we sell to a platform, they actually have the final say as to if they're going to remove a website or not. Our algorithm spits out essentially a confidence score of, we think this is 95% confident that this page contains propaganda. And then obviously we can dial up and down, automatic removal only if we're 99% confident, for example. So that confidence score that's embedded within the actual AI is really powerful for us and actually our clients to be able to dial things up and down. And the other thing that's really cool about this is that because we have 12 different types of signal of harmful content, a platform can say, I really, really care about removing sexist content. So I really need to be very careful about being 100% certain on that. But I don't mind being a little bit wrong about toxic content because I'm trying to enhance my recall and trying to get more websites in my net.
Great, thank you.
Brilliant. And I can see, Hugo, you've got your hand up again. Would you like to ask your question?
Yes, thank you very much. Just so that you didn't have the time to go through the go-to-market strategy, maybe could you
Sure.
your meeting in a few words?
Yeah. Go-to-market strategy. So we have our two products. We've got the API and we've got our SaaS platform. Our focus this year is our SaaS platform geared at PR agencies, and we've already secured 2 contracts, recurring contracts. Each is about $5,000 a month. And these would be like an Edelman, or there are some minor PR agencies as well. As we start to go to PR agencies, we want to go directly to the brands that those PR agencies support. You don't want to go to a middleman. We want to go directly to the brand like Coca-Cola or Pepsi or whatever it is. And a lot of these have actually insights teams that can actually buy these tools. Our long-term vision is actually to have our API though as being the biggest revenue driver, because as regulation comes in the next few years around hate speech, propaganda, and so on, these networks will actually be forced to buy tools like this. And that's where we think that our growth is going to accelerate massively. So we want to be embedded in literally every search engine, news feed, news aggregator, programmatic ad exchange. And once you have that, in distribution, your revenues can actually explode.
Great. Good luck. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.